Yes, welcome to this community talk about entrepreneurship, led by the University of Hasselt in Flanders and by the Moulay Ismail University in Morocco, Meknes. We are organizing these community talks every month, so actually the last Wednesday of every month with the people we are working with. The aim is to exchange and to learn from each other's experiences. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on our website. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat and we will try to answer them after the presentations. So during a Q&A session that we will then organize. Enjoy. It's my pleasure now to give the floor to our colleague from Moulay Ismail University, Aziza, who will lead you through this community talk. Aziza?
Thank you, Kathleen, and thanks to the Blerios for the opportunity of organizing this community talk, focusing on Moroccan experience in entrepreneurship and mainly on Moulay Ismail University success stories and also challenges we will be trying to fix. You have already mentioned the housekeeping messages, so I will directly give the floor to our first panelist, Professor Jean-Michel Rigaud, professor at U Hasselt and also Flemish coordinator of the Institutional University Cooperation Program with Moulay Ismail University, who will be giving a presentation on the entrepreneurial framework within the IUC program, Institutional University Cooperation Program, opportunities and a way forward. Jean-Michel, the floor is yours. You can share your presentation. We can see it. Thank you.
Okay.
And you have
hello.
10 minutes.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are fine in this strange period where we are, but we had the opportunity to meet online. This is already something important. So I will shortly introduce you to the IUC program with the University of Meknes and just try to put the frame where the entrepreneurship is happening within this program. Just for those of you who do not know Meknes and the University Moulay Ismail, so you have a few facts and figures just showing you that it is for a big university in Morocco with more than 60,000 students, and you see all the numbers with different spreads, not only in Meknes but in the region of West Meknes. So those are the general objectives of the program that began already 5 years ago. This is as you know, IUC are the big funding program of the US, and the most important global objective is to improve the governance. So it's a capacity building project of Moulay Ismail, but in the context of the university being a real driver for regional development. They had already many contacts with the region, and they try to foster and to promote the region. And this is then it was decided in the beginning of the project to focus on 5 priority sectors, which I will present in the next slide as well, because it was translated into 5 thematic projects during the first phase of the IUC. You see the projects here around environment health, agribusiness, water resource, environment and territorial development, and then medicinal and other aromatic plants, and then a transversal institutional project aimed at ameliorating the governance of the university. So this is also a story of people. The only man you don't see on the picture is taking actually the picture, and is Professor Jafari, who will talk afterwards. So you will have plenty of time to see his face as well. But you see here both the colleagues from Morocco and from Belgium. So we are at the end of the first phase of the IUC. So we had a thorough evaluation last year that brings some strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and interest. I will not go into the details, but just explain you that the quality control of this type of project is followed by from close, and they made a few recommendations. One of these recommendations was to really support the transformation of the university to become an entrepreneurial university. As I will now shortly introduce, there were already initiatives taken during the first phase and also outside of the IUC program to put a real dynamic to entrepreneurship into the university. So not only for professor researchers or young researchers, but also for students. And the accent will be put more into the second phase of our project onto students. So the existing initiatives were to offer some tools to support candidates, entrepreneurs among the students and other people, and to also create some structures, platform for both entrepreneurship and employment. So program and actors that will come back also in the presentation of Samir after mine. He will go much deeper into the concrete of the things. But you see that there are different actors involved and with whom the university is collaborating. Some kind of association at the level of Morocco. Programs that are supported by other actors of the Belgian cooperation, but Samir will tell more. And then also official actors in Morocco, like official employment office. So we are really busy for the moment. The deadline is half March, so it's not far away to propose what we will do during the second phase of this IUC. And there are many initiatives in the framework of entrepreneurship. So especially at the level of the transversal project, who will cope not only with governance but also with management and quality, to reinforce the spirit of the students into becoming entrepreneurs. There are also goals to hybridize the professional identities of the students and researchers. So making it possible for both students and researchers not only to think and to behave as academics, what is the primary intention of what we are doing in universities, but also to dare to go out of their comfort zone and to dare to become entrepreneurs as well. Especially the initiatives around entrepreneurship will happen in 3 of the thematic academic projects. The territorial development, this is one of the main aim of this project, but also in the project around natural products and medicinal plants, as well as agribusiness, there will be a place for it. And I will end up this short introduction by just showing you our current theory of change for the whole program. It's still a work in progress because we are not yet at the end of what we are doing, but well, it has been done by Samir, was very good in summarizing what we try to. And when you will look back at the presentation, you will see there an important place where I will read it for you: market-oriented and entrepreneurial training. So in the training, in the so-called sphere of control of what we think we can change in the University of Meknes for the coming years, one of the 3 important foot for training is entrepreneurship. So just showing you how it's important and what we intend to do in this program. And I think I'm at the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jean-Michel. Thanks for this short but to the point framework of entrepreneurship within the university. Without delay, I give the floor to Professor Samir El-Jafari, professor at Moulay Ismail University and the Moroccan coordinator of the Institutional University Cooperation Program, who will highlight the different local initiatives more in details and how a strategy around them will allow for better coordination and the impact of the actions. Professor Samir Jafari, the floor is yours. I know that the presentation will be made in French, but you have the support in English, and I will be translating if it needs to be on the chat box.
Bon. J'ai juste...
Vous voulez le mettre en diaporama?
Ça va, je vais... Ah, j'ai perdu encore une fois.
Vous pouvez arrêter le partage et puis repartager.
Ah, voilà, désolé. Merci Aziza, bonjour à toutes et à tous. En fait, tenons compte donc de ce qui a été déjà présenté par Jean-Michel, à savoir les recommandations liées à l'évaluation de la première phase du programme SNEE, et puis le contexte interne au projet du programme CUI et des partenariats qui ont été développés au sein du programme CUI et les thématiques abordées qui se prêtent assez à des activités, des initiatives entrepreneuriales. Donc, tenant compte de ce contexte, j'ai choisi de vous parler d'un projet qui nous tient à cœur à l'université, mais aussi à plusieurs acteurs impliqués dans la chaîne de promotion de l'entrepreneuriat au niveau de la région Fès-Meknès, avec lesquels on a commencé à collaborer depuis maintenant 6 ou 7 années. C'est un projet qui a déjà été tenté au niveau de la région, avec plus ou moins de succès. Donc, c'était avec le Centre régional d'investissement de Fès-Meknès, avec plusieurs acteurs. Ça s'adressait d'abord aux jeunes de la région, milieu urbain, milieu rural. L'UMI, l'Université de Memouna Ismail, y était partie prenante et nous avons beaucoup appris de cette première tentative à l'échelle régionale. Et cette expérience et les démarches et les outils qui en sont découlés, nous avons voulu les appliquer au niveau de l'écosystème entrepreneurial de l'université. Cet écosystème entrepreneurial au sein de l'université, comme vous allez le voir sur cette présentation, est déjà assez riche par le nombre, à la fois par le nombre de partenaires qui sont impliqués dans ce type d'initiative, ou alors par rapport aux programmes de coopération qui ont ciblé différents types de publics bénéficiaires, dont les étudiants au niveau de la région Fès-Meknès, et qui sont prédisposés à agir d'une manière collaborative au sein de l'université. Cet écosystème, en termes opérationnels, a permis de mettre en œuvre plusieurs projets et actions qui ont été réalisés sur le terrain, parfois pour un même objectif, par plusieurs acteurs financés, soit par l'État, soit par des organismes de coopération, comme j'ai dit, mais avec parfois des chevauchements qui se traduisent par des redondances au niveau de certains maillons de la chaîne de promotion de l'entrepreneuriat. Le cas, par exemple, des activités d'accompagnement de la phase pré-création. Pour cette phase-là, on a beaucoup d'offres, alors que pour d'autres phases, par exemple, tout ce qui est post-création, financement, on a moins d'actions concrètes portées par des partenaires. Et donc, pour éviter ces chevauchements qui empêchent d'identifier plutôt des synergies, des complémentarités à valoriser, des leviers de coordination qui nous semblaient nécessaires pour atteindre efficacement et avec une certaine efficience les impacts recherchés. Ces leviers, nous avons essayé de les mettre en œuvre dans le cadre du projet que nous avons proposé. Enfin, ce projet il a été proposé déjà suite à l'évaluation et on a pensé avec ces différents acteurs mettre en œuvre cette plateforme collaborative pour la promotion de l'entrepreneuriat. Et nous avons aussi, pour ce projet, essayé de le proposer avec un consortium, vous l'avez vu, d'une quinzaine d'universités, 11 universités africaines et 4 universités européennes, dans le cadre de l'appel à projet de Erasmus+. Ce projet que nous avons nommé Intra-Africa a pour ambition de développer une plateforme coopérative d'entrepreneuriat avec l'objectif, avec l'ambition de contribuer à l'auto-insertion professionnelle des étudiants au niveau de la région. Sachant qu'en Afrique, c'est souvent une population jeune et à faible revenu qui est au cœur de ce processus d'innovation, avec le numérique aussi qui se joint à ce contexte. Les partenaires associés comme Injaz al Maghrib au Maroc, l'Entrepreneurship Movement One Project en Afrique ou encore l'APF Belgique au Maroc ou au Rwanda ont été sollicités pour accompagner et encadrer cette initiative dans le cadre du projet Intra-Afrique. Donc, nous capitaliserons pour cela sur les acquis et les succès qui feront l'objet de témoignages tout à l'heure, mais dont certains ont été déjà cités par Jean-Michel tout à l'heure. Mais je peux déjà rapidement vous montrer quelques-unes de ces initiatives. Bon, il y a d'abord le Injaz al Maghrib, qui est une association et qui développe une dizaine de programmes au niveau de la région, au niveau de tout le Maroc. 8 programmes de cet acteur concernent l'université de Meknès, principalement le compagnie programme, dans le cadre duquel plusieurs activités ont été organisées chaque année au niveau de l'université Moulay Ismaïl, avec la participation de plusieurs promotions, notamment le master base, bioactifs et santé environnementale, qui ont participé justement dans le contexte du Covid avec un projet de cours de soutien en ligne qu'on avait appelé ACUI, mais qui ont quand même remporté le premier prix au niveau de la région Fès-Meknès. Il y a aussi le Holtz Prize Competition qui est organisé chaque année. Bon, en 2021, l'université Moulay Ismaïl était la première université marocaine à organiser cette compétition au niveau Maroc, avec des participations de plusieurs équipes de l'université. Il y a le Solar Decathlon Africa, qui a vu aussi la participation d'une équipe de l'université et qui ont gagné le premier prix au niveau de la durabilité et le troisième prix au niveau du Solar Decathlon Africa. Il y a le centre d'appui à l'emploi qui est réalisé à la fois avec la collaboration de l'APF, avec le programme Minage Liquide, mais aussi avec le programme d'appui aux jeunes initiatives qui est porté également par l'APF et financé par la Direction générale développement belge. Il y a l'agence universitaire de l'ANAPE qui a été mise en place il y a 2 années maintenant au niveau de l'université, qui assure l'accueil, l'accompagnement, l'incubation de jeunes entreprises portées par des étudiants, mais aussi par d'autres acteurs à l'extérieur de l'université. Il y a le statut national d'étudiant entrepreneur qui a aussi fait l'objet d'un programme Erasmus+, Salim, et qui a donné lieu à une note ministérielle qui a circulé au niveau des universités, qui a invité les universités à mettre en œuvre les moyens humains et matériels pour promouvoir ce statut national d'étudiant entrepreneur. Nous en avons profité aussi pour élaborer un guide de la gouvernance de l'écosystème universitaire avec l'appui du Vlerios dans le cadre du programme CUI. Et cette plateforme, on en a déjà parlé lors d'une rencontre qu'on a eue avec la Wallonie-Bruxelles au niveau de l'université Moulay Ismail de Meknès. Bon, nous avons déjà commencé à travailler avec les acteurs sur les objectifs, sur les missions qui seront données à cette plateforme, sur le résultat attendu, les attentes des parties prenantes potentielles et leur rapport potentiel aux bénéficiaires pour chaque phase de la chaîne entrepreneuriale, pré-création, création, post-création. Nous avons commencé à essayer d'organiser l'offre des parties prenantes de cette plateforme par rapport aux besoins et aux requêtes des entrepreneurs, et comme ça pour organiser ces interventions, valoriser les complémentarités, valoriser les synergies et éviter les redondances. Voilà, j'espère que je n'étais pas long, j'ai essayé de faire vite. Merci.
Dans les temps. Merci, Samir. Thank you, Professor Jafari, for this rich presentation about the local initiatives at Moulay Ismail University. If you have any questions or comments, please write them on the chat box, and I will have a look at it at the end of this presentation. And I will pass the floor to Mrs. Els Huisman. She is a counselor for startups and SMEs, and she currently leads the student startup project at UHasselt. And she will be speaking about the ITP program at Hasselt University. Mrs. Huisman, the floor is yours. Samir, can I ask you please to stop sharing your screen? Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Els Huisman, the program manager of Student Startup at the University of Hasselt. So Student Startup is a project run by the UHasselt which stimulates students to start their own business, and Student Startup helps our students with their actual growth and start of their own business. And we also want to sharpen their entrepreneurial skills. We offer tailor-made services to our students. We encourage them to participate in multiple activities such as brainstorm sessions, inspiration sessions, networking events, competitions, information sessions, and so on. Our students get also free advice by partner organizations in domains like human resources, legal advice, accountancy, crowdfunding, and they get access to a professional business network where they can connect with other entrepreneurs, exchange experience, and share their knowledge. It's also possible that our students can get a seat in an incubator or accelerator where they can connect with other starters, entrepreneurs, and different companies. And we have also custom-made facilities for exam and course schedules for our students in the form of a status student entrepreneur. Now, some facts and figures. Student Startup was founded in September 2015, and the past 6 years we have been supervising 458 students who had a starter ID, and 134 students of this group have already started their own business, and some students are still working out their business ID. Now, the most popular entrepreneurial activities among our student entrepreneurs are the retail sector, especially e-commerce, new media, computer science related applications, also ideas arising from a hobby, product development, liberal professions, and consultancy. Now, student startup mainly focus on 3 pillars. Student startup organizes events to sharpen the entrepreneurial skills of our students. Secondly, we support our students with the start or growth of their business. And thirdly, we are involved in several multidisciplinary course units. Every student at the U Hasselt can follow 3 courses from when he's in his 3rd batch of he's a master student. And entrepreneurial spirit is a course like that. It's about the DNA of an entrepreneur. We learn our students which soft skills you need as an entrepreneur. They visit companies, they can participate in several networking events, and they don't have to make an exam, but they have to write a reflection paper and organize an event. A second course is Building Blocks of Entrepreneurship. Students learn the basic concepts of a business plan and business models. And when they have followed that, there is an opportunity to follow the course Business Planning, and then they can make their own business plan. Now, we have a large net of partners. We work together with the private sector, other higher education institutions in Flanders, but also institutions. And we take part of the starter ecosystem of Limburg. That's called Limburg Startup. That's a specific community of 42 organizations in entrepreneurship in our province. Here you see some pictures of our events and of our student entrepreneurs in action. And now, so this is what Student Startup does at our university. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you for this presentation and for shedding the light on how the student startup project enforces and facilitates students' entrepreneurship within U Hasselt. Virginie Biteau is our next panelist. She is professor at U Hasselt and co-leader of projects within the IUC program on aromatic and medicinal plants. And she will be giving a testimonial about how the project improves entrepreneurial skills of students and cooperatives. Virginie?
Yeah, thank you very much, Aziza, for the introduction. So good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks for giving me the opportunity to share with you some of the results we achieved in the last years in our sub-project. And as Aziza mentioned, I'm a co-leader of one of the sub-projects in the big EUC project with UMI. And in our project, we focus on local medicinal and aromatic plants, and particularly on endemic plants. And what we do, we focus on conservation, domestication, and valorization of these plants. And in our project, we have 3 components: a research component, an education component, but also a community service and entrepreneurship component on which I will today focus. So the question is, why do we focus on community service, and what are actually the constraints the local cooperatives have to face at the moment? Most of the time, the local cooperatives, they work with the local plants, but they do not fully benefit from their richness, from their plants. And when I mean they do not fully benefit, they do not financially fully benefit from the plants. And this is really a pity for them. And there are several reasons. And here I listed some of them. Sometimes they have a weak organizational skills. They're not very well organized. They have a poor capacity in terms of financial management. They lack good practices. They do not know that they can develop new products with the plants. So they really do not fully valorize their potential. And in our project, or one part of our project, is to actually try to improve the situation, and to improve the situation for and with the local cooperatives. And the idea is to help them on different levels to help them technically, but also administratively and giving them theoretical support. And technical support is, for example, to help them to elaborate cultivation plans, how to write plant sheets, how to set up plant nurseries. And theoretical support, administrative support, is to help them to elaborate documents that are necessary for certification, and that will help them to profit from their plans, how to elaborate a business plan, how to produce documents, to write product sheets, and very important, also how to enhance visibility to attract more funding. And the first step to do that is to organize, as I said, workshops. And the first step is, of course, to listen to the needs. What do they really need? And it has to be tailor-made. For every cooperative, it's slightly different. So first, practically, how did that happen within the project? Some cooperatives came to the Centre d'Innovation and Transfer de Technology, a platform within UMI. They actually made a diagnosis on their cooperative, what's going well, what's going less well. They performed a SWOT analysis together with the people involved in the project, and a work plan for each cooperative individually was prepared according to the needs of each cooperative. The next step was actually to give them theoretical and hands-on workshops, theoretical training on how to write specific documents, how to perform chain development, how to write crop cards, how do you write good practices guides, how do you write a good product data sheet, how do you make a business planning and management. So all that was given with the help of specific written documents, translated in French and explained in Arabic, because of course they need to understand the language, and the official documents are always very complicated. So everything was vulgarized to make it accessible to the local communities. There was also some hands-on workshops on and there's a type of practical training at the level of the crops, at the laboratory level, how do a specific machine equipment works, and at the level of the production lines. So these workshops lasted 2-3 days per cooperative. On top of that, there was also some administrative support, so some support to help them writing a project, writing all the files that they need to get some approvals, certification files. So this was also around 2-3 days per cooperative. And of course, every cooperative needs specific personalized technical support. So the colleagues involved in the project went to go to each cooperative and to see what was the problem, what is the type of the equipment they have, what do they need, can they go further with their products, can they diverse the number of products, can they elaborate new products to profit even better from their products. And of course, giving courses, going to check, helping the people is good, but it's very important to follow up and to go on site and to see, okay, after 6 months, a year, is everything still going fine? Do you still need to fine tune a little bit here and there? Do you still need support? So the people, the local cooperatives are still followed up regularly. Now, what were the results of this type of workshops and follow-up at the different cooperatives? Well, here I listed a number of facts and figures. The number of cooperatives supported in the first phase of the project were 13. And it's worth mentioning that 11 out of the 13 were women cooperatives. So we really support women cooperatives. All of them developed new units of valorization. And 9 of them obtained an official agreement from the Office National Sécurité Sanitaire des Produits Alimentaires. And for the others, it's still ongoing. So it's very, very positive. 3 of them obtained marketing authorization from the Ministry of Health, which is not so easy to get. And even 1 of them obtained the bio certification. So it's really, really extremely successful. What is very important also at the moment is that the cooperatives developed a type of network, okay? So they are involved in a WhatsApp group, they share practices, experiences, challenges. So it's really important that they share knowledge, and this has a snowball effect, okay? So the effect is gonna become exponential. So what's next? It's to go further in this type of project. Now here it's just few photos to show you that some of the cooperatives developed a number of new products. The idea is that we could see that in life. Unfortunately, due to the pandemics, it's delayed, but we will hopefully see that in real. And the idea for the phase 2 of our project, of our sub-project, is to further consolidate these initiatives through the development of an incubator, Biomedina Meknes, for example, which will be a platform of valorization of the medicinal and aromatic plants, which will be an incubator for cooperatives to support them, to stimulate entrepreneurship, and that will be supported by the university and by, of course, the project. And here, I want to end up with this slide, which is the last one, but not the less important one. For whom are the credits of these fantastic results? Of course, to the VLIR, who financed their big project, for the university, for all the team members who play a role at different levels, also students, professors, team members, team leaders. But I really want to emphasize that this work and these results are essentially were possible and are essentially due and conducted and obtained through 2 fantastic people involved, Professor Said and Professor El Ghafari. So the credits are mainly for them. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Virginie, for the presentation, and thank you for the amazing work you and all the team are providing the cooperatives with. Back in 2020, UHASLT organized an ITP course, International Training Program, funded by the VLIRIOS, on a circular coaching program bridging the sustainability needs of entrepreneurs. Thanks to VLIRIOS funding as well, Iman Arban, which is an alumnus of the Master Bioactives Health and Environment at Moulay Ismail University, was one of the fellows of this training. Currently, she's environmental and social analyst at Mazen, the Moroccan Agency for Sustainable Energy, but she happily accepted to give a feedback on her experience at UHASLT.
Thank you. Can you hear me all? Okay, excuse me. Thank you, Aziza, for this beautiful introduction. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me to share with you my experience during the ITP. In 2020, I have been awarded a VLIR scholarship, and I was chosen among 6 Moroccan participants to participate in the international training program, which was organized by UHASLT University. The training has gathered people from several nationalities, participants from Morocco, senior coaches and junior coaches from Morocco, Rwanda, Uganda, Pakistan, Iran, and Albania. During the 2 weeks, we had followed courses on several topics related to entrepreneurship, and such as financial planning, market research, marketing, project planning, and those courses were supported by coaching sessions. And honestly, the coaching sessions were my favorite part of the training, because they allowed us to consolidate and to practice what we've learned during the courses. We interacted with each other, between participants and senior and junior coaches. We shared insights and knowledge from different perspectives, and that was really awesome. A second part of the training was devoted to visit some companies, Belgian companies and startups, and to attend events where we had met inspiring people and inspiring entrepreneurs with successful stories. I think that and I perceive that the ITP was a great chance for learning, because the ITP allowed us to consolidate our knowledge concerning on which concern the entrepreneurial. And after coming back to Morocco, we used the ITP gained skills besides of the skills we've developed during our master's program, which is Bioactive Health and Environment. We participated in regional, national competitions, and we were able to win the competition prizes. I perceive that the ITP was a great experience for me, because it gives me the chance for learning and for personal and professional development as well. I personally perceive that entrepreneurship has helped me to develop some skills which meet the needs of the market, and helped me to integrate the professional market today. And through this, before finishing, and through this community talk, I want to thank my university, the University of Moulay Ismail, for its interest in the entrepreneurship and the youth empowerment. I also want to acknowledge and to express my deepest acknowledgement to the ITP organizers, and especially to Valeris Scholarship Program for giving me the opportunity to be part of the first edition of the ITP 2020. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Iman, for this insightful feedback. And you were also an exemplary fellow and student, either within the master or within the ITP program. We had already all the presentations and feedback from our speakers, Jean-Michel Rigaud and Els Hoyman and Virginie Bito from U Hasselt, and also from Professor Jafari and Iman Aban from Moulay Ismail University. If you have any questions or feedback or comments, please go ahead. You can either write it down on the chat box or unmute yourself and speak up.
Yeah, Aziza, if I might take, there was a question, I think, for me. Yeah. Kindly comment on the success rate of certifications. Yeah. It's pretty good. A lot of cooperatives got the certification. Now the exact rate, I don't know. But it's pretty high, and when it's not going through, they receive extra support to be able to resubmit and to readjust for the certification. But at the moment, 9 of the 13 already got a lot of certifications, different types, and the others are on the way. So this is pretty good for a first pilot study.
Sure, and also, if I can add, many of the cooperatives who were followed up within the IUC program have also gained a lot of international prizes and awards, which is also in somehow a recognition of the work and the quality of the products being commercialized. Again, there is a question on certificates, but if you can elaborate, please, Takele from Ethiopia. If either you can speak up or write down more in details what you want to learn more about certifications, we would appreciate. if there is any other question or comments. I don't see any hand raised yet. I think that Takele is referring to the certificate for training of cooperatives or the training from UHASL. Can you please specify? Welcome from Madagascar.
Perhaps Mr. Takele could speak up instead of writing. It will be quicker.
You can speak up so that we can understand better what you are referring to, please.
Mr. Takele, can you speak up, please?
I think he's referring to certificate from the ITP program, maybe, because it's the one on entrepreneurship. So if this is the question, yes, the students got a certificate from the ITP program.
And if it's about the certification of certain products, if they get a certificate that it's done following specific standard procedures and so, then they get a special label, and then the local cooperatives can sell the products at a better price. So I don't know which type of question it was about certification, but that's
also when they get certified, they can export their products, so they can target the international markets.
So it's really how can I say, a guarantee of quality.
Indeed, yeah, right. Regarding the ITP program, it's the Vlerios offers a scholarship for African students to participate to this training. Any other questions, remarks, comments, feedback? Yes, Charles Touchabomwe. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you. This is a nice presentation and the insights. But what I just wanted to know from your experience, how is the networking with companies when you are networking with the students and trying to link them to companies? How successful is it, considering, for example, in our country where you have got high employment rate, meaning that the uptake for the graduates by the companies is a bit inelastic. So how successful is it in your country? Otherwise, thanks for the presentation, and I have enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shard, for the question. If any of the speakers want to answer the question regarding the success rate on reaching companies for students' placements and partnerships for entrepreneurship?
Well, our project, our sub-project works with local cooperatives. So we do not directly work with students. Of course, students are involved in helping the people, in giving them specific trainings for, but we are not directly, for this part of the project, directly working with students. They're involved, but this is mainly for the local cooperatives.
And also to add to what Virginie said, for students, for example, it's a work that has been done for years now. So we currently we have a portfolio of local actors and companies with whom we have already established partnerships, and this is how we we have these connections a bit facilitated to place students and to get students some opportunities of placement and training. There is also a second consideration, which is like the kind of Iman. Iman is actually now working in a national agency. So we try to keep contact with our alumni to get them involved within our programs, either by being trainers themselves or by hosting other students as a trainees, or just to see how work is being done. This is also helpful to get in touch with other companies. For example, if Iman has partners, then she can get us reached. She can make the contact with other companies and facilitate the work of the university. So it's successful, but somehow it's challenging as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Any other question? On the chat box, you have the website of the Vlerios. So there you can find extra information on the available ITP programs and scholarships are currently offered by the Vlerios for African or for students. Any other question? If there are no questions or comments, maybe I will give the floor to Kathleen to just wrap up and end this community talk. I had the pleasure to be with you in this community talk focusing on Morocco. And we wish to see you again soon for another community talk. Kathleen, the floor is yours, and thank you deeply to the Vlerios for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Aziza. Thank you. So yeah, it seems that we have come to an end. I also see in the chat that we are going to send you a small evaluation. So if you could please fill this out, we'd be grateful. So thank you all for the rich presentations. They were very informative. I'd like to thank everyone who contributed to this community talk, especially to our colleagues from Moulay Ismail University and from University of Hasselt. Yes, the next community talk will take place on the 30th of March, so each last Wednesday of the month. You will find more information about it very soon on our website. Yeah, thank you for attending. And if you could please fill out the small evaluation form, do so. So have a nice day further, and thank you for attending. Bye-bye.